Welcome to No Latex Needed, where we keep it uncut, uncensored, and most important of all,
Undeniably entertaining.
we're your hosts, Kimo Save.
And Skitty Writings with the blog that I barely update anymore.
As you can clearly see, folks, we're doing a little something different because you can actually see us, and we're on Zoom, and we got not one, but two guests in the house tonight.
Yeah, trying out something different, keeping it fresh.
On our left, we have Beef Supreme 69.
I could not while laughing.
But you probably know him best
69.
as...
Hell yeah. Oh yeah, there we go.
But you probably know him
trademark
best
that.
as one of the greatest members of LuxRem. Pedro Alvarez is in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Woo! No one's clapping.
Yeah. And the one with the skeleton looks like he's sending a dick pic is our good friend Bryan Lopez, also known as Hialeah Paul McCartney.
Oh man, never thought I'd hear that again.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You heard it before?
Yes, unfortunately.
And he's doing like a tour too.
Oh my god. Man, didn't like IT man also call you that shit?
He printed out a picture and brought it all the way to my courtrum
Fucking hell.
just to tell me I look like Paul McCartney.
Hey, look at Paul McCartney.
Damn.
Fucking
Oh,
Christ.
Weird. I still see him.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just try to avoid eye contact.
I know, dude. I'm the same way.
Yeah. So you're probably wondering why we have two guests here tonight, or you're probably just like, holy shit, two guests. That's awesome. So we're here to talk about something that's it's a little different from the norm. We're not here to talk about hockey. We're not here to talk about, sports of any kind, or, we're here to talk about
Something more personal.
something that brings us all together. And it's the fact that it feels like a long time ago, but in reality, it's been probably 3 years or 4 years now.
I would say 3 years.
Yeah, like 3 years. At one point, we all worked for the same company, which was a court reporting company.
What was it called?
For purposes of this recording message, Dandy Cheese.
Andy Cheese.
Danny Cheese.
Dandy Cheese.
That's what it felt like the whole time.
So,
Just
we're
Google
here to
Dandy
share our various experiences that we had in Dandy Cheese and, just really how it's affected us in our various new jobs and whatnot. And, well, really, the best way to probably start it would be the guy that, who brought me into it and who brought Brian, I believe, as well, which was Peter.
And then I found it all on my own. Unfortunately.
So
You're like a tumbleweave. Just
So, Peter, tell us, how exactly did you come to seek employment at Dandy Cheese?
So it was actually through my friend Alyssa. She used to work there, and yeah, basically I used to work at a call center for like roadside assistance, and I ended up quitting because I couldn't take like that kind of corporate culture anymore. It just wasn't my thing, and working at and then they would tell me about Dandy Cheese, and it's slightly less conventional, but it's pretty damn interesting because you get to work at the courthouse and shit, and the job's not that hard, and the pay is pretty damn decent. And so I decided to like just take up on that offer because I really needed a job at that point. So I finally got I got the job, and everything was pretty good, and yeah, it was just basically just through her referral.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
pretty decent. And then, you spent, man, I think it was I'm trying to think here. Like 4 years that you were there?
No, I don't think it was 4 years. I think it was like two. No, like I think it was just close to 3 years.
Okay. Yeah, like 3
Yeah,
years.
Like
And
close
you
to
start
3 years.
and you started off at the bottom, and then you became a supervisor later on at some point.
Yeah, sort of. Whatever I was. I was
Right. I mean, I had
It's
no
like,
fucking clue what
they're
he
like,
was.
hey, you like we're gonna give you more responsibilities basically. So like you're like higher up, but not really. So I'm just like, so you're just tossing me more shit more shit on me without paying me more? Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that exciting? Like no pay and then a title that you have no fucking clue about.
Yeah, it's like I don't know, like the entire time, the way that I've seen their structure and how they've like sort of delegated everything, it made me feel like they just read like a book on how to fuck over people.
Oh my god.
Like Jesus fuck. Because like yeah, like I start to think like, dude, how the hell did like did they get away with that? They just told me this and I could have just left, but they didn't. They finessed me and all this shit.
It's in the
It's
contract.
oh god
Yeah.
fuck. Jesus. But yeah, it was pretty bad.
Right. So, from what I hear, from what some people tell me, is that like at the beginning, like it wasn't so bad. And there was
Oh
like,
dude. Yeah, no, sorry to interrupt you, but yeah, no, like, cause like there were like it was like the best place to fucking work at that point.
yeah,
Like, dude, I used to go there like on time at work, man. Like I was referred to as the golden boy, cause like, for me, I genuinely enjoyed the atmosphere and the job and everything, and the pay was, it wasn't really good,
yeah.
but like I fucking enjoyed it. I was happy doing it. But then they decided to hire some rando, fucking Farquaad, if you will. If that makes sense. Like basically, just imagine like you have this nice place, and they're like, hey, you know what? Like let's hire Farquaad to like run everything over here, because apparently this place just isn't doing so good when it clearly was. It was growing.
Oh
And
wow.
everybody was pretty happy with their jobs, and we had we built like a pretty nice family, a really good environment out of that, and we can trust everybody too.
Mhm.
But no, then they hired Farquaad, and then everything just sort of went to shit, and just
Damn.
ruined like the vibe and the atmosphere. They just hired this fucking weirdo, man. Like,
And
eh.
did he just ruin things like overnight, or was it something that slowly just like festered like cancer?
Yeah, cause like honestly, like shit, man. I'm a person that like I really try to give a person a fucking chance and shit. Like cause like everybody goes through their walks of life, and they are for maybe what happened to them in the past or some shit. Who the fuck knows? Maybe he was never like hugged as a fucking child or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, so like I just kept thinking that I'm like, dude, like Jesus Christ, but how much of that can you hold?
Right.
But it's just at the end of the day, like it was something that slowly did start to like creep up, and at first he was it cool, but then like you start seeing the dark sides. You see like the light sides, he's really good sometimes when when you're at the right time and place, you could really talk to him about a lot of cool shit. Like he's an interesting guy for sure. But fuck, like his dark side is pretty bad, man. Like
Yeah.
when you get there and you're just not at the right time and shit like that, like it's really really like this dude can get really really ugly, really really quick.
Yeah. Now, Lopez, why don't you tell us what your first impression of Farquaad was?
Well, he was the one who interviewed me actually, so I had the I had the first impression right there, and he was very direct with me. So at the time, I just thought he was, in his interview role, so I didn't think much of it until I started talking to him more and more. But the thing I noticed with him is that he's extremely personal with people when he doesn't need to be in a professional
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
So that rubs off on people the wrong way, and thus everyone starts, getting upset with him for any reason, and it just becomes like a shit show really fast anywhere in the office, in the courthouse. So I didn't know this. I kind of just stuck to myself for the first year or so until I then became the next. You're gonna get a title, but you're not gonna get any pay.
Yep.
So I stuck around with like kind of like an IT position, I guess you'd say.
Uh-huh.
I'd go around and start updating laptops and fixing stuff. After approximately like 3 months of that and seeing how much shit was being tossed my way, I was like, I just kind of went to Farquaad and I told him, hey, I don't want to do this anymore. Just put me back a core reporting position and I'd be fine. And ever since then, that's when the whole him getting personal with me started. And it got pretty bad pretty fast.
yeah,
It was fucking
it's
weird.
weird, like at times working for Dandy Cheese, like it felt like working for the mob almost. Like
Yeah.
a lot of times it was almost like, well, what can you do for us? And it was a lot like it felt like, well, we'll scratch your back if you scratch ours in a sort of way. It was really strange. And you talk about that whole personal thing, and I think I've told you both this story before, but I remember one time I was walking out with actually Brian and then somebody else we used to work with, Jesse, and we're on our way to the courthouse out of the office, and Farquaad pulls me to the side and he's like, hey, these guys smoke weed or whatever, and I'm like, only one of them does. The other one is like a fucking saint as far as I knew at
Oh
that
my
point.
gosh.
And he's like, I'm just trying to let you know because I'm trying to be a father to you, whatever. And I'm like, oh, I already have one. Like, why are you trying to be a father to me?
Dude, and I can like totally piggyback off of that too. Like when he gets personal with me, like he would always one thing that he would do is that he would find like a common trait that he has with you or some shit like that. Like he'll just find one thing that he has in common with you and then just spin this whole thing around it. Like his son, he's also a musician and he plays guitar and stuff. So he's like, yo, dude, like if I can bring you like my son's guitar and can you fix it up? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like sure,
I
like first couple times I'm like, yeah, okay, sure, like I'll change the strings or I'll intonate it or something like that, but after a while it starts to be like, hey dude, so like I want to change like the pickups and the wiring and the guitars and shit, which is like just sort of annoying to do.
Yeah.
And he's like, but like I'll pay you for it, like I'll take you out to eat, like I'll buy you fucking lunch around the corner, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I guess sure, why not? So like, but then like the more I do, the more he wants, and I'm like, yo, what the fuck, dude? Like, chill, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
And so like I don't think he would guilt me or anything like that, but I would have to like tell him. I mean, I'll probably just have to lie and be like, oh, dude, no, like I actually have like a lot of business, with guitars, and I'm not gonna have time. I had to make up some fucking bullshit. But it's just one of those things that it just starts to rub you off the wrong way. Like he just keeps asking for favors and favors and favors. And at the end of the day, he like after all the work I did, and he would tell me he would pay me or whatever. He only gave me like $20. And that lunch that he promised me never got it for me.
Oh my gosh.
And I would mention, I'll be like, yo, Farquaad, where's my fritanga, bruv? And he's like, oh my god, bro, fucking right. Oh my god. Jesus fuck. This is fucking crazy. And I'm like, yeah, Jesus fuck, go get my freaking fritanga that you promised me, Jesus Christ. Like I was fat at the time, so I was very passionate about food, you know.
that
But
impression
holy,
was spot on, by the way.
yeah, thank you.
Oh my
Can't believe I
god.
still got it.
But
But
I'm gonna tell you guys something. The first time I met Lord Farquaad, it was actually it was my first day. He didn't interview me. This other guy interviewed me, and like they just hired me on the spot, which should have been the first red flag, I have to say. But when I met him, like I don't know, like I just got like this like weird vibe from him, like what the hell. And then he's introducing me to the training, and then like he's like cussing and stuff. I'm thinking like this is kind of like unprofessional too, from like a standpoint, like eventually I started cussing, but like at first, like being a new job, meeting someone new, like the cussing like right off the bat kind of caught me off guard, not gonna lie. And like
yeah,
me
no
as a
shit.
person, like for like any job that I do, I try to be like as professional as possible, like right off the bat, because like I feel like first impressions are everything. So
Yeah, man.
Yeah, no, and it's funny, with Peter talking about all the favors and whatnot. This dude, like, I don't know, from the very beginning, like he knew somehow I was Trinidadian, and we started talking about like the food and stuff. And at first, I was like, oh, cool, this is someone who knows about my culture and shit like that. And then that's when the favors started coming in, and he would ask me like on a daily basis, like, hey bro, where are the doubles? You know what I mean? And I'm like, well, bro, it ain't exactly cheap, you know what I'm saying? And some days I'd bring it, he'd be like, oh, I'm gonna pay you back, and never paid me a fucking dime of it, and just I man, yeah,
Yeah, that's
no.
That's
another thing.
fucked.
He's always had a tendency to make jokes at others' expenses trying to
Oh,
make it like
Jesus.
Hoy.
kind of like ha ha, I got you kind of thing, but everyone's just kind of like, dude, come on, that's
Yeah,
not cool at all.
he would just beat on that dead horse every single time. Whatever joke it is, it's like the one that he like almost convinced himself that he invented.
Oh my god, and like,
Galaxy brained it.
Yeah,
and like
convinced
poor
himself he Galaxy
Augie,
brained that shit.
Oh,
Augie.
yeah.
he got it the worst, I feel.
Oh my god.
Like the first time he introduced me to Augie, he's like, "Oh, like don't buy weed from him." Like the hell.
Yo.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, he told all the new recruits that he would be like, "Well, don't go under the bridge. That's where Augie sells his drugs." It's like, come on, man, what the fuck?
It's like, dude, we just met, man. Like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I'll tell you a crazy story. For those of you back home, Augustine,
Mhm.
was one of our
No, it's
coworkers.
Augustine.
Oh, whatever the fuck. But
Oh my god.
Augie was one of our co-workers. Dude was awesome, Haitian, had dreads and whatnot. And of course, that was easy pickings for Lord Farquaad. And one day, I remember it was like 8 a.m. Farquaad went to go personally pick up Augie to do a depot at like 9 a.m. So imagine, yeah, no, I'm not joking. And he goes to pick him up. Already, you're not in a good mood, and this dude is picking you up. How does he make it worse? He starts playing Haitian music in the car.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like
Wow.
that's not racist at all. Here, let me make it comfortable for you.
I mean, I can
Yeah,
only assume he played like the worst Haitian song in the world, maybe like
probably.
not.
Yeah, do you think
not
you
even-
pre-planned all that? Kind of like, yeah, you know what? Today I'm gonna ruin someone's day.
I don't get it. I feel like this is one of those things where it's like, damn, it's like, is he really trying to like impress people, or is this like some kind of like pseudo thing where it's like he isn't, but he is low key, like, hey, I'm just like he's sort of busting your balls, but in a very subliminal way.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
like his
Yeah.
version of tough love.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
What
He's
I
the
got-
weird
It's just
one.
weird. It's just weird every time he tries to impress you. It's just comes off weird, and I can't explain why.
Yeah, from what I was told from what do you call this, from our assistant manager, was that like essentially he wanted to be a stand-up comedian or some shit, and that's why he constantly does that. And it's like, all right, but a good
Dude.
comedian knows what jokes are good and which ones are
Yeah.
bad, you know what I'm saying? And they don't
Yeah.
tell the same fucking joke every day to the same audience.
And then you just kind of like,
Then you end up like
Yeah.
Pauly Shore.
Fuck happened to Pauly Shore?
Oh, bro, like if you've ever seen a stand-up, it's the dog shits, dude.
Is
Like,
that like the guy from the Jersey Shore?
well, not was it Jersey Shore? I know he was an Encino Man, but he's the dude that was
Okay,
always like,
it's an old ass movie. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, it's that one white guy that talks kind of annoying, right?
yeah, the one that's always like, yeah, dude, I'm not trying to get like on your grindage. Or
Yeah, okay. I
Now,
know exactly what you're talking about.
Imagine that, but in stand-up. Like, imagine that.
That sounds very obnoxious.
It is.
Kind of dated too, if I'm being
Yeah.
honest. Holy shit, we just say bruh all the time. That's like the new sub, bro. You know,
Remember, I'm dead.
Oh yeah, Jesus
God,
Christ.
Yeah. He Farquaad would say that a couple times. He's like, I'm dead.
oh gosh.
like the boomer he is.
Oh. And then that's where and then they call us crazy for doing the whole okay boomer thing.
Yeah.
Like, dude.
Didn't he
sorry.
get like actually genuinely upset over that one time?
Yeah.
Like he just went off. That was just
Yeah, he
like,
did.
dude.
He went bananas. Oh my god. If he's the butt of the joke, holy shit.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's when you see Farquaad's true fucking like height. You know what I mean?
And then
Like,
he kind of plays along by making fun of himself with that same joke. And he's like, "Hi guys, see, I can be funny too." Was the one time he changed his profile picture? Remember?
Oh
I
yeah.
don't remember.
Wait, was
Oh.
it like that face? Because I think that was it when I first joined.
Yeah, it was like
Yes.
this grumpy face. That,
Yeah.
So from the story that I was told was that the gingerbread man, he sent it as a joke over to Lord Farquaad, And Farquaad was like, "Oh, okay," and he put it as his like profile picture for WhatsApp, and it was just kind of like, "All right, dude, you killed it. Great job." Yeah, that's how I remember it.
The man's a master murderer to jokes.
Yeah, dude's the Ted Bundy of jokes.
Oh gosh.
Sweet Jesus.
Dude, I remember at one point, this was when Peter had left, and like, the morale over at Dandy Cheese was just at an all-time low, like lower than it had ever been before. So I was like, damn, dude, like I gotta boost the morality around here. So I would wake up and I try to figure out like something funny to say on the chat. So I'd be like, "Good morning, everybody. Let's get this bread. Let's finagle the bagel." You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Something like that. Bone the scone. I don't know.
They were the highlights of my day.
Oh, I'm glad. Good. But then this dude shows up and then he's like, "We don't want urban street poets or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh, so you can say bonjour and good morning in another fucking language, but I can't say let's get this bread?" Like, what the
Not
fuck?
wrong with
Dude?
that. Jesus Christ.
I think he got jealous, honestly, that like so many people were looking. It's funny because when I stopped doing it, like a lot of people started coming up to me and they were like, "Oh, dude, like why'd you stop doing it?" I'm like, "Because this fucktard told me to stop doing it."
Apparently, you're not allowed to be funny.
Yeah, no, it's like he can be the only comedian. He ain't even good at it.
I know, like
Fuck.
everyone else is so much funnier than him.
He kept us comedically hostage. So then we had to create a brand new chat where we can just shit post and say whatever we fucking want.
Which
Yeah.
And send memes.
which Brian happily created.
The first
to.
iteration of such, at least.
Oh
Fuck,
Christ.
what was
no,
it?
dude,
It was
so
called Off the
needed.
Record,
Oh,
I
yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
that's right. Off the record. Forgot.
Oh my god,
Oh my
yeah.
God, that was
He
great.
created it like after that last meeting we had in 4-1 that like everybody did not want to be a part of.
Yeah.
Oh my god, and they targeted out Danny so hard too.
Targeted Danny, they targeted Peter, targeted me, like such a pain in the ass.
I swear, if they had any reason to annoy me, they would have used it. But
Oh yeah. And then Julio came like a minute late. Like he literally showed up as the clock hit like 8:01 or whatever. This guy's like, "What the fuck, Julio? We told you to come in here."
God,
and-
like
and-
just for
yeah.
1 minute.
Like Jesus
No
Christ,
one's
dude.
gonna die.
It's like, dude, no, and I think like the shit starts like at 8:30, and that's another thing too, is that we always had a bit of that leniency with with like the courthouse and shit like that. Like some judges start a little earlier, some start a little later, but as
Yeah.
long as you're in communication with them, then you're good. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
you can show up, at whatever time you really want, as long as you're there before. It's not a big deal. Just don't show up late when the judge
Yeah.
is about to, go up there, and then you
Nowadays-
have issues and shit. But
nowadays, you have to stay in the courtroom at 8:30. If you leave, you get in trouble.
Yeah. No, it's
Yeah.
like going back to Augie. I remember I was doing some times or whatever, which for those of you back home who don't know what that means, we would essentially get like transcript requests and our good homie Florence would give us these things and say like find this or whatever, and we would find the times in which it was and we give it back to her so that she can give it to the production people. So I'm doing times with Augie, which was the only time I ever fucking enjoyed it because Augie was so quick with this shit. And here comes Farquaad, and he comes over to Augie, and I'm like, "Boy, I got a bad feeling about this." He goes over to Augie, and he's like, "Hey, Augie." He was talking to him about his courtroom and this attorney. I forgot the dude's name that would always, give him like a weird looking eye, like he didn't like Augie because
Give
it
him
was,
the stank face.
yeah, give him the stank face, like color boy in here, like you know what I'm saying, yeah, like that
Fuck.
sort of thing. And I was like, oh, like he's actually getting pissed off about it, like he's gonna stand up for Augie. And then quickly that diminished because he was like, I got a perfect idea, Augie. Next time you see him, go over to him, shake his hand, and call him Massa.
Oh my
And after he
gosh.
said that, like I swear the guy was laughing so hard, I think he shit himself.
what?
And he was the only person laughing in the room. Like everybody else was just like, well, I can't believe he fucking said that. But he was
Bro,
like
this dude-
red.
This dude that Roots was like a comedy like when it came out. What the fuck?
Gosh.
Christ.
He set the bar so low, he'd have to limbo in hell.
Jesus.
He said 12 Years a
It's
Slave
rough.
was the greatest comedy movie
Oh
ever.
gosh.
My God, dude.
Christ. Dude, I don't. Oh my God.
That's another thing. A lot of people that work in the courthouse also don't like him a lot. Like he's
Wow, I
very
wonder why.
Yeah.
Yeah,
People
just
who
get-
don't know him don't like him. That's how far it goes.
He's just unliked all around.
Dude, he got what was it? One of the was it calendar clerk? Yeah, there was a calendar clerk that was like saying all kinds of bad shit to him. He was talking shit about him to Herring, actually.
Mhm.
And then like I guess I don't know, either Herring was laughing at it or he must have told him about it. But then like Farquaad went to he cried to somebody, one of the higher ups, and essentially like they told him like you're not allowed to talk about this guy or whatever, or you're fired. And it was just like seriously because of a fucking joke.
I think I know about that because I got paired up with that clerk once and he came to me personally and said, "Hey, if this guy says anything about us, let me know." And I'm like, "What's that about?" He's like, "Don't worry about it." And I never knew what it was, but now that you tell that story, I'm thinking that had something in relation to that.
It's definitely that, trust me. Yeah.
Wow.
And the whole thing about nobody liking him, when I would go to the public defender's office, this is one of like the greatest days of my life, which is funny because it was one of the worst at that time. You know, there are certain days you want to go home, and then there's other days where you're like, oh, I don't mind staying here for a bit, but that day I want to go fucking home. But that day Farquaad was like, no, PD at 2, and he sends me with Sir Humsalot Yazir, which I was like, so I'm like, all right, we're in for a good time. But he was pissed off, I was pissed off. So we're like, man, we're gonna make the most of it. So we go into the PD's office. For those of you back home, that's the public defender's office. We go in from 2 to 5, doing depositions, whatever. Well, recording them. And I go in that day with Yazir. And bro, we were making fun of him so much. Like I would come back and I'm like, did you fucking copy on the chat or whatever? And he would like say some other shit too. All of those stenos in that room were like shitting themselves. And they knew immediately who I was imitating. They were like, oh my God, you're doing Farquaad.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I had never seen that room like, oh, they were like slamming the table and shit.
Dang.
Yeah, it was great.
Dude,
There
that's
was one of
amazing.
those stenographers that really hated him because I was in the bathroom one time in the jury room, jury chamber, whatever you want to call it. And Farquaad and her went into that room, not knowing I was in the bathroom, so I could hear everything they were saying.
Oh shit.
And she went off on him, like telling him to leave her alone, that she doesn't want him to talk to her. It was like serious stuff, and I just kind of like stayed in the bathroom really quiet until they both left. But I remember that very clearly, and it was really bad. I've never mentioned it because, well, I was fucking depressed, so I didn't care.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, it was he was, I don't know what he did, but he said something really fucked up to her. So
Oh my
probably something
God.
sexual, to be honest, because I remember
Probably.
Yeah.
That's
Because he definitely knows how to treat women.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Total ladies, man.
Listen, when I found out he had not one son but 2 of them, I was like, so you're gonna tell me that 2 women or a woman allowed you to have sex with them multiple times? Like, bro, what kind of
Wait, I heard him tell like someone that he had 3 boys though.
3?
He's like, yeah, I have
Jesus.
3 boys. I'm like, okay. I just hope they know how to treat women correctly.
I mean shit.
Was the father like that?
Oh my gosh.
He said he doesn't like talking about his dad, but I think he says something like his dad was like a piece of shit. I'm like, gee, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree then.
No man, god damn.
Yeah.
Oh shit. But no man, I think like the guy probably like suffers from delusions or something, man, Like definitely like the delusion of grandeur that this dude can like get anything he wants, but not realizing that what he wants is not really what's best for him and his family and shit like that.
Yeah, I could see
Power
that.
trips. He definitely does power trip.
Dude, like,
And he knows no boundaries.
the dude would go to the courthouse, showing up in like a suit and shit, big cheesy ass smile, shaking hands with everybody like he's the fucking president or whatever. And I was just like, look at this fucking weasel.
I know.
This
And
guy's like a dehydrated coyote.
oh my gosh.
That's like wearing a suit. That's like what I
Yeah,
imagine every
shit.
time.
Oh, and like I don't know what it was, but like there were certain days where I remember he would just like constantly be like sniffing his nose and like cleaning it or whatever. It's just like,
Gosh.
oh man, like shit, bro, like my sinus.
Yeah, like he had sinuses every day.
Oh yeah, I saw him like snorting sugar off of like the bar and shit. Oh,
Are you sure
Yeah,
that was sugar?
Jesus Christ! No, I just thought he'd be like sugar, man. He's like, whoa! Like I don't know, fuck.
Yeah, that's some good sugar.
Oh my gosh.
Granulated, bro. That's how I like it. Jesus.
Right in my blood. Oh my.
Speaking of the person who hired him, who was that exactly? Do you remember, Peter?
Oh, wow.
'Cause,
The person who hired Farquaad
yeah.
must have been Fairy Godmother.
Oh, all right.
Probably.
Yeah, I can see that.
That's a
Yeah,
whole
it-
nother
Because
can of
they're
worms.
for me they're like an inner circle kind of thing. The way I've always seen
Yeah.
it. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
it was.
Because it's like like if Fairy Godmother saw how things really like if she saw what we were going through with her own eyes, she would like freaking fire him immediately.
I
Immediately,
think
dude.
she's
Like
seen
that,
enough at this
like
point.
the liability, dude. It's pretty crazy. Like like you can get into like a pretty big HR problem with the student. See some crazy shit happen.
Hmm.
But yeah, that's why I always imagined like he never got reprimanded as far as I know. He's never, he's always kept that position of his for the longest, and it's because they have that inner circle.
Yeah, there's definitely something between them.
There's obviously like a bias,
Yes.
The here's something else. Isn't there like cameras except for
Yeah.
his office?
Yeah, they have cameras all over the office from what
But like surely they
I
should have
faintly
done it
remember
like
that.
where there's cameras.
I faintly remember that.
Yeah, remember Peter when they had like two of them? Imagine that like tripled now, and they're always watching it. And they will
That's-
call you out on speaker or something like that from what I heard.
Oh,
That's really
That's some,
creepy.
that's some
Yeah.
Big Brother shit.
Yeah. It's
And
like the
creepy.
turret at the top of the office. Employee 246, get back to work or be executed.
what the fuck?
Dude, that's
That's awful.
what the fuck.
Dude, it's
man?
almost like they're trying to start a cult or something. Like, Jesus
Scary.
Christ. And yeah, and then they keep saying like, I guess they keep doing these extra measures, not realizing that they're shooting themselves in the foot because they're trying to find the problem as to why maybe there's bad turnaround. Sorry, employee turnaround, or why is the actual work being like a lot more sloppy? You know what I mean? Like there's no integrity in the work
Mhm.
anymore. People are just doing whatever the hell they want. So it's like, okay, clearly they're all dumb, so we have to put all this shit to monitor and see what they're doing to boost productivity, because I guess productivity is what's getting fucked up. I don't know.
It
So
is.
they don't I don't even think they know what's really going, like they don't know the real problem. It's really internal. Is you have this guy that just makes everybody's job a living hell, and nobody gets paid enough to go through that shit.
Oh
So-
man. And if
so
it was
you-
like it's a cool job, like it was great. You know what I'm saying? Like
And it's super easy. Just press record, type some stuff. That's it.
yeah, and it was chill, and like we a majority of us met each other through there. You know what I'm saying? And we used to like chill and talk or whatever. But and like you didn't really start thinking about like, damn, this job is kind of shit. Once like this guy started making everybody's lives a living hell. Like it wasn't until like I started to see this dude that I was like, wait a minute. I'm getting paid this amount. I should be getting paid, more. What the fuck,
Man, and I remember like I was like telling them, dude, I just want to stay in the fucking courthouse. Like the same thing as Brian. I just want to stay at the freaking courthouse because like just staying at the courthouse is the best thing in the world. I could
Yeah.
be there all day typing, dude. Holy shit. But it's just, oh fuck, I have to get this docket and
Yeah, the
print it
moment you go back to the office.
oh dude, just that's it. It's a complete 180. You know, it's insane. And you figure like, you're working with judges and shit like that, people of, of higher authority, so you have to set a certain expectation. But no, they're like the chillest people ever. And and you know, although they may be intimidating, like it's actually a lot easier and way better than going to the office and dealing with this freaking douchebag.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I used to hate doing PD, but then I realized like I was like, well,
That's better.
I'd rather be in PD than in the fucking office because they're just finding random shit for me to do. You know what I'm saying? Like some days where there was literally nothing to do, they'd just be like, put the fucking paper in the printer. I'm like, really?
Do a backflip.
Take out the trash.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I could just leave, right?
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
one day I actually just leave. I was like, yeah, fuck
Oh,
this.
dude, oh my god, I did the same thing. Worst mistake of my life. I
Yeah,
ended up
no,
getting-
I know. They ended up spamming my phone. I'm like, what the hell?
Dude, yeah, I'm like, oh, I committed a crime, I guess, because
Oh my gosh.
what happened was that I finished uploading because they already told me, oh, dude,
Mhm.
upload your shit and you're good to go. I'm like, okay, cool.
Right.
Upload my shit. I left, and then I get a text, hey P, where did he go? We need to talk to you. I'm like, what the fuck? So I go all the way back to the freaking office. And and Farquaad's there. He's like, "Hey, bro, like, did he just leave?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Well, like, he just left and that's it." And I'm like, "Yeah, he told me to upload my stuff and I can leave." He's like, "Oh, but like, you're not gonna shake my hand. You're not gonna say goodbye to anybody."
Oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
Hey, you
"Oh,
want a kiss on the cheek too?
Christ." Dude, and I'm like, are you fucking? Oh my god! He's like, bro, cause like where I come from, we say goodbye, we shake hands, and shit like that. I'm like, dude, I don't have time for this. I don't
Oh my
like.
god.
What a fucking face.
Like, what
Where
if you
do you
had
come
like an
from?
emergency or something?
No, you don't go to visit your mom in the hospital. You shake my hand and give me a kiss on the cheek.
Yeah, it's like yes, don, yes, don, yes, yes. Jesus Christ,
Where
let me
I
kiss
come
your ring.
from, we wear large shoes and red noses. So you're offending me.
Easy, dude. Oh my god. And so yeah, I'm like, dude, I had to walk all the way back here just so I can get a manners lesson from this, from this fucking guy. It was just like, no, man. Like I was probably tired and shit, and I just left. I didn't have to say goodbye. It's not a big deal. I'm gonna see you again tomorrow.
Yeah.
What difference is that gonna make?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Like it's just dumb. It's not nothing personal. And then it goes back to that. This dude takes everything personal. Oh, he just left it uploaded. Like what the fuck? He's not gonna say goodbye to me and suck my dick a little bit. What the fuck? He's not gonna tell me that like I'm gonna be missed and that I'm a father figure and shit like that. Fuck's the matter with him? You know what I mean?
You got another father in your life?
Like
Jesus
my own
Christ.
dad.
Who is he?
Luckily, I didn't get a call from him. I got a call from the other one, the one that tells you to go and leave. Except
my
I
God.
didn't ask him if I could leave. I just straight up left. I didn't ask anyone. I tried to like
Jesus.
just leave without saying. I don't know what happened to me that day. I just really didn't give a fuck.
I'm
And
with
I left and I got 5 calls from him on the way home. And when I did answer him, he was like, "Where'd you go?" I'm like, I left. I was done for the day. He's like, "I didn't tell you to leave." I'm like, "Well, I'll see you tomorrow then."
Oh
my god.
2 + 2 = 4, bro. Come on, like chop chop. Like, see you tomorrow. Jeez.
Like, well, like
Yeah.
I
That
had a-
was
Oh,
sorry.
no.
That was when they when he specifically started to get really like angry with me, which is what led up to that one day where he took a picture of me when I was like half asleep.
What?
What the hell?
Oh, I never
fuck?
told you about that. I was
No.
asleep when I was waiting for Judge Million to come in because he comes in at like 10 p.m.
Right, of course.
So in the mornings I kind of eat and I'm just there waiting. So one day I was just really tired and I laid my head down for a bit. And I guess he walked in. He got really close to me with his phone and took a picture and left. And then the clerks were like, "Hey, that guy just took a picture of you and left." And I was like, "Whatever, man. I don't care." And then I ended up getting messages from Farquaad and everyone from the higher up positions like, "What are you doing, man? You can't be asleep in the courtroom." And I'm just like, "Okay."
Watch me, dude. Jesus
Yeah, what
Christ.
the fuck?
Yeah, and then they all came to my courtroom. and then gave me this talk, and I'm just like a zombie looking at them. I'm not processing anything you're saying to me. Oh man, that was just something else.
Dude,
He
oh
never
my
did
God.
apologize for that though.
Of course, he's not gonna
No, I
apologize.
bet.
Why would
No,
he?
what do you mean? He did nothing wrong, man. He's doing his
Oh
job.
my gosh.
Jesus Christ. You know, like you
course he
are like
didn't.
property of Dandy Cheese. As long as you're wearing that goddamn uniform, you are property of Dandy Cheese, baby. Sorry to
Man.
tell you.
Yeah, bro. Like I remember one time. Oh man, this shit pisses me off all the time I think about it. So I told them, I'm like, look, I gotta go in to the hospital, Baskin Palmer, which was like right there, near the office. I could literally walk to it. I had to go early in the morning because they have to do all this stuff to prep for my second eye surgery. And he's like, "Do you think you can make it back to who was it? I was supposed to cover Judge Safi."
Safi.
Safi, yeah. And I was like, well, I mean, I think so. I said, I'm not a gambling guy, but I guess whatever. And whatever. I didn't think much of it. I went over there. I haven't even like seen the doctor yet or whatever. And I'm getting messages from Maurice. And he's telling me, he's like, oh, where are you? Whatever. And I'm like, bro, I'm still here at the fucking shit. And I haven't even seen the doctor yet. I'm like, and then I got Farquaad on the other, thing telling me like, this wasn't part of the deal. You told me you would be in there. I said, and I told him straight up, I'm like, no, I said, I think I can. Okay, there's a difference. Don't twist my shit. Yeah. And I'm telling Maurice, I'm like, bro, this guy's not leaving me alone. Like, what the fuck do I do? He's like, well, he goes, it's up to you. I said, oh, it's up to me? Good, because I'm fucking staying here. So I stayed there the whole time. I was super fucking stressed out. I go over. Oh, it gets better. Because I got to walk back to the courthouse now. It's fucking pouring. I didn't have, what do you call this? I didn't bring an umbrella that day. I didn't think it was going to rain. So I go into the courthouse. I'm fucking soaking. Like I'm about to get hypothermia. And luckily somebody was able to get me like a change of clothes and shit. I'm having a really fucking bad day. And then this guy decides, yeah, I'm just going to pile it on more by talking about like, look, we had an understanding. And I'm like, bro, you not see that I was going through hypothermia at the moment? Like, and all this shit. I'm like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? I got to prep for surgery. What am I going to tell them? Oh yeah, let's move it for next week. Like, I can't read a room.
Fuck.
Yeah, pay for my expedited surgery. Why don't you?
Yeah, like, it's like, imagine like I needed open heart surgery that moment. And he's like, well, do you think you can come back at 1?
Oh my god.
He shows up to the hospital in scrubs.
Oh my god.
Like, hey buddy,
Yeah.
how you doing?
He's like, you're gonna make that state attorney appointment. Jesus Christ.
I got a double for you at 2.
Fucking starts pushing you out. You're like, hey, what the fuck? Doses you with morphine.
In the gurney and
Oh
everything.
my gosh.
Or we got a laptop in there.
You're in a double room in a gurney with your heart still open.
Gosh.
The
He
laptop
puts
on
that
your
finger
chest.
thing on like his finger, so that your heart rate's always right. Oh my god.
Oh man.
You guys remember the Dandy Cheese jacket?
Oh, that incident was fun.
My God, I remember I would never like I wore it at first, but then I'm like, I don't like this. It's not keeping me warm. So I wore my own stuff. And like, one day he catches me, like I had like a Stranger Things like red lifeguard jacket on.
Uh-huh.
And then like I don't know. Well, my brain's not letting me remember too much right now because it's probably traumatic, but I remember he pulled me to the side and he's like, oh, you have to wear the jacket or you could just buy me breakfast and I'll forget all about it. And I'm like, what the fuck?
The hell?
Like, are you kind of threatening me? Like, I felt kind of threatened in a way because I'm like, are you trying to like also like con me into buying you breakfast? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, you don't fucking pay me enough to buy you breakfast.
Oh yeah.
This is
You
weird.
should have told them that.
I wish I should have.
He's such a weirdo, man.
I know.
Oh, bro, it's like, oh my god, I'm trying. It reminded me about the jacket. So, and I was telling Rosa about this last night. When you first come to Dandy Cheese, they give you one fucking uniform. Like that's it, just one uniform.
Yeah, and I'm like wearing this disgusting uniform for the whole fucking week.
Okay,
Yeah,
there was
if
another.
not, if you want more, you gotta buy it.
Yes.
Like, why?
Dude, like I thought I was working here. We're not independent contractors. We're under a W-2. You gotta provide this shit for me, son.
Yeah. What the fuck?
They don't pay us enough to get for us to buy a second one anyway.
So
Yeah, dude,
essentially,
and they're charging like freaking concert merch price.
yeah,
Was
shit.
it like $60 or maybe I'm just exaggerating my brain? I don't know.
they
No,
just took it out of your next paycheck.
yeah, but dude, still, come on, man. We were getting paid dick.
Yeah, but that's
Oh,
what
what
I'm
you're doing
saying.
there.
Like, how could they do that? You know?
I don't know. It just felt like 60. I could be wrong. Could be like 60.
I
in my
feel like
head,
the
it's
jackets were
$60.
probably $60.
Yeah. You guys got jackets?
Oh man, dude,
I didn't get shit.
dude, it's crazy. Even I have a stupid jacket story because
Oh, yeah,
yeah.
at this point I was already supervisor,
Mhm.
whatever the hell I was,
Quotation marks.
and I'm always wearing like a really big black hoodie over my uniform because it's really cold in the courthouse.
Right.
But I just wear it on because like I think it's kind of gay to have it around your neck and shit like that. I don't know.
Why
know,
don't you like tie around your waist?
That's no.
That's even worse.
Dude, I have very fragile masculinity, dude. I cannot do that. But but no, like whatever. Like I was just wearing my black hoodie, and I go inside of the office because I remember I needed to grab a laptop or some crap. And Farquaad just stops me. He's like, "Hey, bro, like I think you look really nice in like one of our jackets. Like I think you should try one on." And I'm like, "Oh well, like I'm gonna be late if I don't get this laptop and stuff, and I just already have this hoodie, and I don't want to buy a jacket either because I know I have to buy it, and I don't want to because that's. And he's like, no, but who says about anything about buying it or anything like that? Just want you to try it on." And I'm like, you know, like what the hell? Oh yeah, and also the orangutan is also there. You know, he's just there like
Yeah, he kind of just hovers.
just like listening to whatever we're saying. And I'm just like, and so I'm like I'm listening to him, but I'm also paying attention to the orangutan, and I'm like what are you like? I'm here like trying to be like, what's going on? You know what I mean? I'm just so confused
I'm contributing.
because yeah, yes, he's like he's just like going back and forth, with our dialogue. He's trying to like photograph every single conversation and have it recorded in his noggin verbatim or something. I don't know.
Oh my
But
gosh.
and clearly I already knew what he was insinuating. He wanted me to just stop wearing my regular hoodie that was covering my uniform and wear, the stupid actual uniform jacket.
Right.
Which, okay, you could have said, "Hey Pete, look, change of policy. We're gonna give you a jackets like that. You could, you know, get that lost drip or whatever your reason may be. It doesn't
Well,
matter." But dude, like that from the get go, I would have been okay, and that's it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna start arguing with you about what jacket I should wear. If you're providing me with a jacket, okay, and I have to wear it, okay, that's part of the agreement. I have to do it. I have to suck it up.
mhm.
But don't go through all this. And so then the orangutan, like, finally, sort of interrupts the dialogue because I'm intentionally just dragging it along. I know what he's trying to tell me. I'm just dragging it because, like, Jesus Christ, like, dude, come on, like, take a hint already. Like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna wear the jacket, chill. But eventually, like, the orangutan stops it, and he's like, he just reads my fucking mind. He's like, "Oh, dude, like, he wants you to wear the jacket instead of the black one that you're wearing because it's gonna whatever, what should have been said, or since the fucking beginning,
So he's a
And I'm like,
translator.
"Thank you, Brian. There you go. Put it on," and that's it. And you know, that's what happened. But it's just like you have to go through these mental gymnastics talking to this guy, you know, and just to say, he can't even tell you, "Hey, dude, company policy, put on this jacket."
You think maybe the orangutan is there more like as a PR dude than for him? Because it seems to act like it, even though he's not exactly a good fit.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, yeah, I can sort of see how, because like, I mean, yeah, he was always around anytime, we had to deal with Farquaad or something like that. He was always there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey guys, let's take a short
Yeah.
break so we could, it's a lot to unpack.
Mhm.
Shit.
Yeah. All right, we just took a small break. We wanted to, murder our thirst with these bad boys.
Tonight's episode is officially, unofficially endorsed by Liquid Death. Murder your thirst in the most brutal way possible. Refreshing.
Yes.
Now, I'm trying to remember where we got back to, but I'm not entirely sure. But there was something that I remembered during the break. What do you call this? At one point, I had become supervisor after Peter had long left. Me and Yazir became supervisors, or no, at that point we were training. I remember now because it was before the February party.
Supervisor in training.
It's SID. I mean SIT. Sit. So they had us do this thing. Fairy Godmother set up this thing where we had to do like some training for like supervisors and managers and whatnot, where it was really just like a disguise so that Farquaad could get some training in, but she invited everybody because he didn't want to be like singled out and shit like that. And at one point during the whole thing, like we have like these 4 squares and it's like personality types, like what personality matches you best. And I don't remember all of them, but one of them had to do with like, valedictorian or something like that. Basically, it was like, oh, you like to, give orders and you're bossy as shit and this and that, whatever.
Boy.
So,
Oh, shit.
so
Where this guy.
yeah.
Like,
So Farquaad and Stephanie are the only two who are sitting in that square, and Yazir and Augie are on the side shitting themselves laughing because it's like, oh, of course he's gonna be in that square. And he's like, hey, you need to take this really fucking seriously, okay? We're like,
Yeah.
Chill.
Jesus Christ.
Man, I wish I could have recorded those fucking responses of his.
That would've
Yeah,
been
dude.
amazing.
I mean, that thing was so like, we had to like share like certain shit. Like, oh, I'm trying to remember certain things about it. Most of it was like a PowerPoint. We all sat like on this big couch. It was me, Yazir, Augie, Fairy Godmother was sitting there, and of course Steph was right next to her, as she always is, and Orangutan was on the couch too. And then there was like a little table to the side. That's where Farquaad and Gingy, that's where they sat. Like, this is the fucking cool kids table, bro. Like, I'm fucking 420. What's your fucking kill ratio on fucking Xbox, bro? Oh, quick score.
oh God.
Like, I don't know, like he just always had to feel like he was the shit no matter where we went. Like, it was so fucking,
even when it's like so unnecessary.
yeah, it's like, oh, we're all training under the same shit. And every time that this lady was giving like a speech, they brought in this lady who specialized in this sort of thing. And after everything, he had to fucking raise his hand and be like, well, I just think that this is the way I do it. And it's like, okay, but that's not what we're here to learn. We're not here to learn your shit.
Be like, okay, who asked?
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing too is that like he got so butthurt because we're laughing that he's standing in that square. And yet Steph had shared something. I don't know what it was. They asked us a question like, oh, what's something that like you would like to improve on as a supervisor or whatever. And Steph said something like way too sentimental that it was just kind of like, oh, this is kind of cringe. But she still shared it, you know what I'm saying? And we're being respectful about it. But he fucking laughed his ass off about it like a dehydrated hyena. He was like, and he was the only one laughing. And we're just like, what the fuck?
Even if it's cringe, like it's something like like,
Hey, we gotta be serious
personal.
here. What the fuck?
Yeah, man, it's and not to go off on stuff, but I remember the first meeting that we ever attended in the little library, whatever, and they kept asking us questions that we all fucking knew already. And Steph, like, as Danny put it, she was like a Nazi that day because she kept going.
Jesus
oh my
fuck,
gosh,
dude.
not a good look.
Yeah.
Yes,
And I could see Peter standing next to the orangutan, like he wanted to be anywhere but there.
Oh, I remember that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, you're unlocking a memory right now, son. Holy shit. Damn, that was like the most cringiest fucking meeting we've ever had in our lives. I pray for the person
Yeah.
who took a day off that day. Oh my god.
Is that the one where we ended up playing games afterwards, or is that
Yes.
another one?
Yeah, that's the same one.
All right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
some-
wanted to get the fuck out of there too, but
dude, yeah, it's like, hey, bro, like we could like totally just leave early. You know what I mean? If we're gonna be
Yeah.
here doing nothing, you know,
No.
like please. But no, you know, we had to stay there and sit through the cringe and ask fairy godmother and her mom all these cringy ass questions that we don't want to know.
Yeah.
For
Like,
a
what, you
while-
want us to
whole-
ask them what shoe size they have or some shit? Like,
No,
you know.
stupid. They're like everybody was giving us a script as to what we should ask the, you know, fairy godmother's mom and shit. And I'm here like, yo, what the fuck? Like for real? Like I was just gonna be like straight up, you know, anarchy, yo, where's my raise, son? You know, like I know how much you're making these transcripts.
Don't say the R word.
I see that
Jesus.
Tesla in the garage.
Dude, for real. Holy
This man
fuck.
about to end the whole meeting.
Yeah, dude, I was about in the whole meeting, but like, okay, you know, don't talk about getting raised, don't talk about, you know, personal business or whatever the hell, you know, like talk about like, you
Personal.
know,
The fuck?
talk about like, you know, like no, yeah, about like, you know, personal stuff about her. I have no idea.
Oh,
How
okay.
much cocaine does Farquaad consume?
Oh my gosh.
Jesus fucking Christ. But yeah, you know, nothing that'll make her leak secrets and shit. I have no idea, man. Like, and
Are you selling
like,
our personal information to Russia?
Oh
Jesus
gosh.
fuck. Like, I don't know. It was just weird. But yeah, that meeting we had with everybody and them, it was just so cringy. It was the
Yeah,
worst
dude.
thing ever.
And I remember another thing too, you know, and this is one of the big things that everybody complains about is that, like, first of all, lunch over in that office, they say 30 minutes, but it's almost like he pressures you into getting it shorter sometimes. Like,
Yeah, like you get like a 5-second lunch.
yeah, it's like, fuck, you put the shit in the microwave now, you know,
Yeah.
or some shit like that when you come back. Sorry, from Winn Dixie. And then I remember it was the first day I actually had lunch, and Peter was eating a salad. You know, he was trying to lose weight at the time. And Farquaad comes up to me. He's like, "Can you believe this guy eating a fucking salad, bro? Like, what the fuck?" And I'm like,
Right.
"Well, I mean, he's trying to lose weight. Like, what are you, fucking retarded?"
It
Like,
almost seems like he's pressuring you into like being fat. I don't know. Like
No,
I
dude, of course.
got pretty chungus when I
Yeah.
came to laws. Like, I was in really good shape. I was going to the gym almost every day, and then that schedule just totally fucked me up.
like in a weird way, he influences what you eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sure, bro. He summoned my secret genetic IBS somehow
Oh god.
Oh my god.
from
Yeah,
all the
dude.
stress he put on me.
yeah,
the
and it's
fuck?
like I remember one day, you know, we're all eating and stuff like that. It was Genesis and Valerie's last day, and you know, they brought over some food and some cake or
I
whatever.
remember, yeah.
And I was sitting next to Danny, and this dude goes over, Farquaad comes over, he's like, "Hey Dan, let me ask you, how do you shit?" And we're all there like, what kind of fucking question is that?
Yo,
Like anyone else?
Yeah.
I don't know what he expects.
Like, we're
Dude.
like,
I would have been like on your mom's grave, fucking asshole. Jesus Christ.
Be like, here,
What
dude,
the
check
hell
this
now?
out.
yeah, like,
Oh my
I'm sitting there
God.
like, bro, we're eating here. He's like, well, hold on, like, I'm serious, Dan. Like, I want to know how is it that you shit, because you eat those like Totino's pizza that doesn't have any fiber in it. It's like, well, why are you concerned about his stomach?
Dude, it's
Just
just
let
like
him live his life, man.
we're eating, bro. Like, come on.
Yeah. Bro,
Fuck,
I
you're
took-
talking about. Oh, I
You
don't
know what,
man.
Farquaad? You should become a dietitian.
Yeah, man. Jesus fucking Christ.
Oh my
But yeah,
god.
no, homeboy was bad, man. Like, yeah, I remember like I had a good thing going on with the fucking salads, and then yeah, he would criticize me a lot about
Right.
that shit.
Yeah, what the hell is that? You know?
Yeah, it was just weird, and I'm like, you know, like, can you fucking chill? Eventually, like, I just learned to zone out of it, you know. Like I already knew who like the kind of person this guy was and shit, so I didn't.
Oh, and then like when you had food, you had to share it with him, or
Oh,
you
yeah.
had
sweet
to offer
Jesus.
it to him.
No, it was the worst thing ever, man. You come back home, yeah, you come back from the office with some food, and pray to God that he's not there. Otherwise,
Yeah.
he's gonna ruin your fucking lunch. Oh, look, you brought fried chicken and didn't bring for anybody. What the fuck? You know, like maybe I was hungry, and the way he says it, it's almost like
Like he's guilt
You gotta learn
tripping
how to
me.
deliver.
That's why I started eating outside after a while, because I'm like, I didn't want him to fucking say anything.
Oh man, and
Yeah.
he had fucking telepathy anytime Victor made food.
Oh my
You
god.
immediately messaged me, hey, can you grab some of that food from Victor? And I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
God.
come get
Yes.
it yourself. What the fuck?
Dude, get it yourself. Like, don't make me go through this. It's just
Yeah,
embarrassing,
bro.
man.
I remember Judge
Uncle
Simon
fix me
had
a
a
plate, chop. Like, what the
Yeah.
fuck's wrong with you, man?
yeah, Judge Simon had a Christmas party one time, and he said he was gonna go, and I was just like, oh fuck, like there goes the party, dude. And then he ended up not going, but he still tells me like, hey, can you bring me back a plate? And I'm like,
Get your own
yeah,
damn
like
plate.
go over there and get it your damn self.
Like, yeah, that'll be $12.50.
Shit, yeah, bro. Fucking delivery fee. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, one time, I think it was the last time I ever ordered anything at the office, but I did Uber Eats, like Popeyes and shit like that. It was me, Yazzer, and Drew. You know, we threw down some money and we ordered some Popeyes. We had like a big old family thing, whatever. And that same day, I had a meeting with the orangutan, Yazzer, and Farquaad. And Farquaad, as we're walking over to the place to do the meeting, he's like, it was, bro, just so you know, like, I enjoy Popeyes too. Like, I like the fried chicken. I like the honey mustard. And I'm like, that's cool. It's 8 minutes from here. You can go get it yourself. he was pissed.
No shit, bro. Fuck, cause like, yeah, this guy had to be like part of the group every time. He had to be included. And I think at the end, that's all he wanted, man. He just wanted to feel
I think
included.
he's very
But
sensitive. He's a very sensitive man.
he's a very sensitive man, and he's probably very ashamed about it. But it's
Probably
like,
never
hey,
really grew up either, considering his little tantrums.
Yeah. Yeah.
oh yeah, big time.
No, it's
Oh,
like,
and the times that he was wrong, for fuck's sake. Oh
yeah,
my
I
god.
mean, always.
Exactly.
yeah,
but like,
always.
when you prove it to his face, because it's like blatantly his fault and
He's like,
shit.
oh no.
Yeah.
He like
This
fucking
can't be.
backpedals.
It's like, dude, you sat on the pie, man. Like, just admit it. Come on, it's all over you. Jesus. This is-
it's like,
This is somehow your fault.
Oh my God.
yeah, exactly.
like he could shit himself and it'll be like, you see, you made me do this.
He shits himself. Ah, fucking Jews controlling the weather. Jesus Christ.
Who put these pair of pants on me?
Oh my god. Oh my god, man.
Oh, like he would give me shit for like the stupidest reasons. Like when I was a supervisor, like the one thing I would do, I'd go in the courthouse, I'd check up on everybody, and I would just be like, "Yo, what's going on? You doing good? Oh, you know, you're working here. I know. Are you on the brink of suicide? I'm sorry about that, but
Here's a number,
yeah." But the one thing that he gave me shit for one time was that I would go cover Brian, because Brian had his thing and he would be like, "Yo, I gotta use the bathroom." I'd be like, "All right, say no more. I'm on my way. I'm gonna go cover you." And it's not like Brian's going and taking like a 1 hour dump or something. You know what I mean? Like he's got to relieve or whatever. He's got that thing. And there was just one day where I don't know, one of the judges forgot to mention that they were covering another courtroom, and we ended up with like no court reporter at the time, or we failed to tell somebody that they had to cover that room. Something like that happened. And then somehow this dude places the blame on me. He's like, "Where the fuck were you?" And I was like, "Well, I was covering for Brian." And he's like, "Why?" Like, I go, "Well, it was between that or, he'd shit himself in the middle of the courtroom."
Which I would, by the way.
Yeah, and he's like,
yeah.
"Well, when I would go to the courtroom, like I never covered anybody." And I'm like, "Yeah, I ain't surprised."
Didn't he work for like one day as a court reporter?
Yeah, and he sucked. I tried. I
You
trained
see
him.
the.
think I trained Farquaad.
Oh
Oh
gosh.
shit!
Yeah, I remember I was there. Like I was shooting him the fucking ropes. All right, look. This is how you create a new file. And homeboy was suffering. Like
Oh my
Oh,
it was like,
man.
dude, he was like a real boomer on a computer, man.
I don't know how
Was
you
he typing with like 2 fingers?
I don't remember, but man, like he wasn't typing at all.
Oh gosh.
It was really bad. It's like just the smallest shit ever. I'm like, hey, you gotta keep up the pace. You know what I mean? You gotta be quicker than that. You know what I mean? Just don't type the space. You know what I mean? Like you really had to get
You
the
were definitely the
momentum.
better man there, because if it was the other way around, he would have gone like ape shit on you.
Yeah, no. But at this point, this is early. This is like super
Right.
early of me meeting him and shit.
Oh, okay.
So like, yeah, and I think I remember that day, fairy godmother just told me, "Yo, dude, just like show him how it is, and that's it." I'm like, okay, sure. And then whatever, I just showed him that one day, and I
And
think,
that's it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
and
was it.
that's amazing that he's like the worst fucking court reporter ever. And then like the first 2 weeks that I'm there, like him and fucking the gingerbread man over there are here giving me shit, for the way I'm court reporting or whatever. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? Like I'm still learning this shit. You guys, this guy has serious boomer energy because and Peter was one that told me this. He wanted me to like write my notes on a fucking notepad, like. Well, this
Oh
isn't
god.
like the 50s. This is we're in 2000. It was like 18 at the
And
time.
plus, everyone learns differently.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
no, you learn the way I fucking learned, okay?
And plus, you can put a lot of this shit on your fucking phone. Like,
He made me do that too. Actually, I ended up throwing it away the next day.
Yeah, I mean, I did. I remember like telling him, well, yeah, he probably has it on his phone and stuff like that. He's like, no, man, you don't know if he's taking notes on his phone and all that bullshit. And I'm like, oh, dude, you know what? Then like, you have trust issues. I don't know what the fuck to freaking tell you.
Yeah, like what the fuck, dude? I
Yeah.
I honestly miss when Peter was like training me, and I think that's why they switched me with the other guy because basically this was my training with Peter. Yeah, dude. So you do this, and fuck, I need a Jamaican pet. Here, go upstairs.
oh my gosh.
I said, look, you're pretty good on your own, bro. I'm gonna go get a Jamaican patty. And, I'll probably take a mad dump after that, but
Yeah, you
then I'll
did
be
the
back
same
and I'll
with me. I
relieve you,
remember,
man.
Peter.
Huh?
You kind of did the same with me. I was like, I'm good here, man.
Yeah.
You can go do what you want.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, fuck. Yeah, I guess I did. I guess I did do whatever I wanted at the end of the day.
Yeah, but you were confident in our ability. That's the thing.
Yes,
Oh,
If
yeah.
you knew we were struggling, I'm sure you wouldn't have done that. That's the
No, fuck.
difference between a good person and a bad person, where someone would probably just
Thank
not
you.
give a shit.
Of course. Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
man. But
So let's actually talk about one of
Yeah.
the most glorious days of our lives. Let's discuss the days that we actually left Dandy Cheese.
Yeah.
So, Peter,
sweet.
since you were the first one to leave, let you talk about when you left.
sheesh, man. So I was going through a really dark time at that point. I got like basically a bunch of job rejections because I was already trying to get out of this place. And it wasn't working out. I jumped into college but realized it was a horrible idea, a very impulsive idea,
Right.
and I wasted my freaking money on that one semester,
Mhm.
all that time applying. So like I just didn't have a right direction, and I'm just stuck at loss the entire time. And I'm like, shit, I'm not
Dandy
going
Cheese.
anywhere. Oh fuck yeah. Yeah, Danny
Well,
Cheese.
we dealt with a lot of law over there.
Yeah. But basically yeah, it was just really really rough. But then eventually like had the idea of just getting into a trade, just fuck it. I really wanted to pursue I really wanted to pursue music as my main goal, as my main dream career.
Yeah.
But I have to be realistic. I have to get some kind of job that will be stable, and I wasn't allowed to work at other court reporting companies, because of the agreements that we had to do with Danny Cheese. But at the end, like, yeah, I finally got like a random job from a guy. Like, I just decided to be an electrician because that's what my stepdad is,
Mhm.
and he makes a pretty good living off of being an electrician. So I said, fuck it, I'm gonna learn the skills, get into a trade, and that's it. Start from square one all over again, and make my way up. And it felt like the only decision that I made that I felt very very good about. As to compare to college, I had my doubts with it. I always felt like some stuff off of it. It just felt like a thing I had to do because everyone's
Right.
telling me to do it.
Of course.
But no, like it at that point, it really really wasn't. And getting into a trade felt like the best thing. So I just got into a trade, started like at $9 an hour, learning everything from bottom up. And yeah, and then that same and the day that I decided to go to trade school, Once I started that, and I got, a random person told me that, he needed an apprentice, just, somebody that can learn really, really quick. So the minute I got that opportunity, I said, fuck it, yo, I'll work for you tomorrow. And he's like, oh, you work for me tomorrow? You don't want, to give your job, like, no, I'll work for you. I'll work tomorrow. And so I didn't give him any notice at all. It's like maybe 7 or 8 at night. I'm in my car, ready to go to school, and I sent a long paragraph to no, what did I do? I think I fuck, wow, it's been so long. But I think I just sent like a long paragraph saying, hey dude, so basically I quit. Just a very, very, I don't know, very general. Hey, so today I'm deciding to resign. I no longer wish to fucking work here. This place is a sinking cruise ship, and I don't want to be around it. And just logged off from every single fucking chat that we had. And then I started getting spam calls from this fucking guy from Farquaad. And finally, I just, I indulge him because he was, the dude was calling me a lot. And he's like, hey, bro, so what's going on? And I'm like, well, like, I don't know if it's obvious, but I quit. He's like, oh boy, like, why do you quit? Why did you, like, why are you doing this? Why aren't you giving us a 2 weeks notice? I'm like, y'all don't deserve 2 weeks notice. Like, I want to get the hell out of here already. I found another opportunity. I just want to get the hell out of here. And man, I really can't recall a lot of the conversation either because it was really that long ago. But I remember he just kept trying to fish out more information from me. He wasn't really trying to like oh yeah, he was saying that like, bro, don't you think it was like it's like a bit of a dick move for you to not let us know that, like you're just leaving us and that's it. Now we have to find this, we have to find that. I'm like, yeah, it's your problem, dude. Like, we don't get a 2 weeks notice, when we get fired. So um I'm just gonna quit. I found another place and I'm gonna start working tomorrow and I'm good. He's like, oh, where are you working now? I was like, oh, I'm working at this place and I'm making about and I'm gonna start making fifth. Like, I gave him some shitty ass number so he can like go shove it up his ass. Like, oh, like I told him, oh, I'm a paralegal now and I'm making like 50 freaking K. So deuces, you know, and that's it. It was just, yeah, it was just so awkward. And then I forgot if other people were calling me, if Marty was like if Fairy Godmother was
Fairy
calling me and
Godmother.
shit like that. You know. But but yeah, you know, after that it was like a really good decision. I started to develop the skills and now I'm in a way better place. Like even though it's heavy construction, it's a way better place.
Which is good. Yeah, I want to add to that. I remember the day after you quit, which I think you quit on like Veterans Day or
Yeah, it was
something.
Veterans Day.
It was on a
Veterans
day
Day?
we had
Wow.
off. And the reason why I
It was
remember
on a Monday.
yeah. The reason why I remember that so vividly is because Farquaad, whenever he's in his office, whether the door's closed or not, you can still hear him because he's so fucking loud. So I hear him on the second floor, and he's like, "Why the fuck did he quit on his day off?"
Oh my god. Jesus.
I'm sitting there like holding my mouth, trying hard not to laugh.
Yeah, he was
Yeah.
visibly upset the whole day that day.
Yes, like super.
And so was the
butthurt.
apparently
My
so was the
God.
orangutan.
Yes.
Jesus, because I remember this one time somebody just quit on the spot. I don't know if it was Julio or somebody, but somebody just quit. They're like, hey, like no warning or anything. I just fucking quit. And bro, everybody like all the higher ups just hated that person ever since. They, oh, how dare they inconvenience us? Working on their lives, not ours. Like, dude, like, do you hear yourself? Like, holy shit. It's
Yeah, no,
it's weird.
the funniest one was I remember when Augie quit. I remember I was picking up like dinner that day or something like that. I went outside. It was like 8, and I look on the chat and it said that Augie had quit. I was like, oh shit, what happened? Initially, I thought like, oh, maybe he has like he's getting like a new phone or some shit like that. And then the next morning it's time to go to work, and I'm like, oh, he's still not there. Oh shit. And I had texted him. I'm like, yo, did you quit? And he's like, yeah, man, I can't take this shit no more. And I was like, okay, okay. And he comes the next day to hand in his uniform and shit like that. And the orangutan was like, oh, Farquaad wants to meet with you. Do you have a few minutes to stay? And Augie was like, yeah, I got the car parked at Winn Dixie. Let me go, park in the right place. He drove so fucking fast home.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I literally heard the tires screeching.
Dude, get out of here.
Yeah,
That's such a good way to go.
serious.
So, oh yeah, let me go outside and get my car really quick.
Yeah. Like I knew the moment he went to go get his car, I'm like, he ain't fucking coming back.
God damn.
And the orangutan was like throwing a fit, dude. He's like, fuck, motherfucker, I can't do it. And I'm looking at him like, yo, you seriously didn't think he was gonna leave? Like, come on. Oh my god. But
holy shit.
let me talk about the day that I quit, which I consider like one of the greatest like moments in history, and I'll tell you why. It starts off actually with Rosa. You see,
I never got to quit. They just straight up furloughed me.
Yeah, they furloughed Rosa along with like I think it was like 6 other people.
I think it was 5 other people, but
or something like that. Yeah,
5 or 6.
And initially, like I thought because Rosa was, one of the higher ups in production, when I was like, nah, this has to be a mistake. So I go to the office before I can even ask any question. Farquaad pulls me into the parking lot and he's like, listen, I just want to ask you if like, you're okay with Rosa being furloughed. And I was just like, well, I was a little confused, but I don't understand, like, what happened. He's like, well, I just want to make sure that we kept the right guy. And I was just like, wait, I thought these furloughs were random. And he was like, well, they are, and I was just like, oh, And right there, I was like, I caught your ass in 4K, bro. And right then and there is when I started, like, I was trying to figure out, I'm like, how can I quit? Initially, like at first, I was trying to find something else, but nothing was available at the time. So I just took a gamble and I said, fuck it, I can't be here anymore because I'm either gonna hang myself or I'm gonna throw myself off the second window of this building. Jeez. So and Rosa helped me out. She was like, oh, Florida is actually a state where you don't have to give a 2 weeks notice. You could just leave whenever you want.
Yeah, my cousin happens to know a lot about like, employee rights. So like he helped us out a lot.
Right. So I was like, okay, great. And I started writing this letter. Basically, I didn't make no amends about it. I didn't sugarcoat shit. I basically said, look, I'm leaving because this guy is making it fucking impossible for me to attend my appointments for my eye, which is extremely delicate. I don't understand why. And I was like, I just want to thank Fairy Godmother and her mother, for all the opportunities and shit. Great day, whatever. So that same day, he and Farquaad and I got into an argument because there was a couple of people in the courthouse and like they were just like standing around. They were like on standby, like they finished court and everything. And I'm just like, is this guy not gonna fucking say anything? So I took it upon myself and I was just like, yo, everybody go to the office and upload your shit and figure, and just wait until this guy says something. And then he, just as soon as that happens, he's like, where do you get the fucking authority to do that? And I'm like, you didn't fucking step up. You know what I mean? I'm like, so somebody had to be a manager. And it wasn't you.
Shit.
Yeah, no, I was so fed up. I was like, somebody had to be manager, And he pulls me outside. And he's like, listen, you don't fucking do that again, okay? You don't understand. Like, we all have these titles for a reason. And I go, before you continue, and I pulled the letter out of my bag and I said, here. And he's like, well, what the fuck is this? And I'm like, it's my resignation letter. And he started laughing like passive aggressively. He's like, oh, okay.
Oh, you're not gonna quit.
Yeah, and I'm like, I go, go ahead, open it. And he's like, well, where are you gonna go? And I made up a bullshit story too, where I said, I said, oh, I was gonna be a teacher, and he's like, well, doesn't that require a bachelor's degree? And I said, are you trying to tell me that I'm not smart enough to attain one?
His position.
Yeah. And he's like, well, no, I'm just asking. And I said, well, you're asking it in a way where it makes it seem like I'm too stupid to gain one. And he was like, oh, he just kind of was flabbergasted or whatever. He goes upstairs, reads the shit. He comes back down and he's like, listen, I read your letter. And nowhere on this thing does it say that you're leaving because you found a better job. And I'm like, okay, so you're criticizing me for my resignation letter?
Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm like, is this guy fucking joking? And he's, the other thing that I put in that letter too was saying like, I wanted to do a 2 weeks notice. I didn't have to do that. I just did that for the sake of let me help out everybody at the time. But he's like, he hands me, and I still can't believe this. He hands me my resignation letter and he says, no, you go back and you go put it as like that you're leaving for this other job or whatever. And
What the fuck?
I shit you not. And I'm sitting there looking at him like, what? Like I was just like,
It's
okay,
like that's illegal in so many ways.
yeah. So I go back home. I changed I changed the date from when I was gonna leave from 2 weeks to basically 24 hours.
No,
well,
like today.
No, like for that day
Like
specifically.
immediately.
Yeah, my bad. So I go back and I hand him the resignation letter, and he's like, "This shit didn't change." And I'm like, "Oh, actually, it did." I said, "Read the part where it says when my last day is." He goes, "That's today." And I said, "That's right." I said, I'm out of here. I said, when I walk out that door, I don't work here anymore. I don't work for Dandy Cheese. Nobody contacts me. That's it. End of the line. And he tried so hard to get me to stay. He was just like,
Oh,
first he tried guilt tripping me. Like he was telling me like, oh, but when you guys sat at home, we paid you. And it's like, okay, well, that wasn't my decision. That was Fairy Godmother and her mother. I didn't tell you guys take out a loan
shit.
to pay us.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, but don't forget, like, when you were here, for 2 weeks, you didn't do so good. And I was the one who vouched for you, and I gave you that extra week. And I'm like, for all I know, honestly, you could have been the one telling everybody that I should have been fired. And I just said that, like, we stared at each other for a couple of minutes. Oh, another thing I wanted to add, because I totally forgot about it.
Yeah.
When I handed him the letter the first time around before I changed it, I'll never forget his words. He said, I guess we furloughed the wrong people. I mean, I guess we kept the wrong people.
God.
I was like,
Gotcha.
Yeah. And I brought that up the next day. And he was like, oh, no, but I didn't, I didn't really say that. And Yazzer was in the room. I'm like, Yaz, did he say that? And he's like, yeah, he did say that. And he was just, he was stumbling over his words. It was the funniest shit. And there was like an awkward silence. And I said, I quit. And we opened the door and he's like, Gingy, like, take Shane off of everything, and all this shit, whatever. And the last thing he asked me was, oh, can you clean the uniform? I said, it ain't my uniform anymore. Here you go.
They had a washing machine, man. Go figure it out.
They literally had a washing machine in the office.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how I quit. That was, man, I remember walking back to my car. It was like there was like a rainbow out and shit.
Felt like a free man for the first time after that.
Like fucking Andy Dufresne's.
Yeah, oh my God.
It was incredible. Oh my God. Brian, please tell us your story about the day you quit.
The floor is yours.
It was kind of just like yours in terms of the execution, except for me, I told them 2 weeks in advance. I actually stuck to my 2 weeks, even though I really shouldn't have, but I did it anyways. And the last day, so throughout these 2 weeks, by the way, he kept asking me what the fuck job I got. So I never told him. I just told him, yeah, I got a job. I told him how much it was gonna offer me and whatnot, but I never told him what it was.
Right.
And he never knew it was in the courthouse, because if you'd known that, it would kind of suck, because I know he'd bothered me. Anyways, so last day, I'm getting back to the office. He's like, hey, can you do this depot? I'm like, no. I walk out, I leave. And he's like, dude, he runs out after me. He's like, dude, just do the depot. I'm like, no. He's like, dude, don't be an asshole. I'm like, no. Anyways, past the weekend, I come into work again. I park in the same exact spot I parked last time, which is in that little road.
Right.
And I'm walking to the courthouse, and I remember seeing him in the hallway. He's like, "The fuck are you doing here?" I'm like, "I work here now."
Oh, wait.
I work here now. It's like, where do you work? In the clerk's office? I'm like, no, I'm working for Judge Pooler. He's like, what?
Holy shit.
And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll see you later. He's like, wait, come back here. I'm like, what? He's like, how the hell did you get a job with Judge Pooler? Was it Judge Million? And I'm like, does it matter?
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with people, man?
He started like full on interrogating me about
Oh my
this.
gosh.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, Judge Million helped me out, yada, yada, yada. And he's like, and he said the exact same thing you said, Shane, where he's like, oh, I knew I furloughed the wrong people or something like that. Is like, I should have been more observant, yada, yada. I'm like, dude, you know how many job applications I've been signing on my phone for like the past 3 months? You wouldn't believe it. Anyway,
While
so
on the clock.
I left, and this dude is still like asking around, and I remember after a while he never permanently left someone in Judge Million anymore because of the fear if they would get a job here with
Oh my
Judge Million again or
gosh.
something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, that's some petty shit.
That's some fun.
But
Wow, dude.
Wow.
I just love that. No, I'm not doing the depot.
I'm sorry.
I
The
love
part that killed me was like, what the fuck are you doing?
No.
Yeah, that was his genuine response. He was like, what the fuck are you doing here?
Oh my god, I love that.
Oh my god.
That's why.
This is
That's
amazing.
exactly why I didn't tell him, because I knew he'd be surprised, and I just wanted to see that in his face.
Damn.
Oh
my
my
That's
God.
crazy
god.
because like
That's-
I work like I work right by Little Havana, like a bunch of construction sites there, and I always pass that stupid fucking office.
Oh man.
Damn.
Oh, I must have seen you at some point, because I still like walk by the area.
Oh yeah, yeah. Maybe like when I'm driving home or something.
Yeah.
Like actually, there were a couple times I caught some like people wearing the Ozzy uniform. I have no idea
Yeah.
who the hell they are.
No,
Andy
no.
Cheese.
Dandy
Oh,
cheese
shit.
uniform.
They keep changing every day. There's a guy who looks like me working there now.
Oh
what?
my, how?
He looks like a younger. He looks like me when I first joined, and I was like,
A
wait
young
a
my
second.
Paul
God.
McCartney?
Yeah, I was like, dude, don't do it. Get out of there.
Just being the
Oh, man,
Beatles
poor
again.
guy.
Well, I think they started cloning us.
Oh my god.
Like really badly cloned version of us, I guess, because
They
He
got the
just-
wish.com versions of us.
Jesus
Well,
Christ.
no one can clone me, and that's to like match all like these piercings now and this cat. So
Yeah, so instead of like Peter, Brian, Shane, and Rosa working, it's actually well, hold on, I'm trying to think of some shit. Paul and Brandon and
Oh god.
and Shannon and Reggie. I don't know.
what the fuck?
and Rose.
Yeah.
Ew, that's my mom.
There
No, don't do my mom
you-
like that.
Okay, how about Daisy?
Okay, Daisy.
we go.
Do you ever think like sometimes like this guy like gets so confused, like he gets angry, so he'll start like saying names, not realizing that we left like a long time ago, like Brian, Pedro,
Oh my
goddamn,
god, dude, I bet.
Rosa. Oh no.
where the fuck is there?
He has
sure
like
there-
little finger puppets and shit.
I'm sure there's multiple
Oh
other
my God.
Lopez's in that office that'll trigger like a PTSD of me.
My God.
Yeah,
Holy
and
shit.
you
But
know,
here's one question for everybody, including myself. Like, how has like, working at laws, like, has it like affected like the job that I work in now, like in any way?
Well, for sure, it's the whole reason I got my job.
I mean, what do you call this? I've gone through 3 jobs since what do you call it? Since I left laws. I worked for like 2 different law firms, and then I'm at this current one that I'm at now, and I'm really happy there. But I sometimes like I do crawl into a fetal position whenever I hear the word copy, and like it's my job to make sure that people confirm, their events. So I'm just like, don't say that again.
No, I
Please
don't
give me a
blame you,
trigger
man.
warning.
Yeah, like it's like Vietnam flashbacks for me.
Mhm. Shit, no, for me it was mostly like I just kind of stood up to people more ever since that. Like I felt like, I've been through so much shit with fucking Farquaad, that I felt like enough is enough. Like it's, if I'm gonna call out on somebody's bullshit if they're acting a certain way, because it's gonna affect everybody, and I'm just super transparent about it, and then they, yeah, if you become transparent, then you are going to show how they really really seem. They're going to start reacting like crazy. Oh, what the fuck? You see, because they're not really listening to you. And so and so yeah, so then that's how I guess that's how I became more bold
Yeah.
after quitting. I just say it like it is, I guess. Back then I was very reserved. I had to keep my mouth shut a couple times because fuck, I felt like my job was on the line, and the way that these people sort of made everything like I don't know, like the way that they sort of policed everything. Um, it just made me more fucking bold. Like no, like I'm just gonna say it like it is in face value, and that's it.
Yeah, no, it's like I remember, and Peter will remember this because he was involved in it too, was the whole mental health fiasco, which was one day.
Oh yeah. Oh
Excuse,
fuck.
Oh my
so
gosh.
one day, I'm in Judge Simon, whatever, and there's 3 judges that do mental health. It's Judge Simon, it's Judge Wolfson, and it's Judge Safey. So when it's Judge Simon, immediately I'm like, okay, I'm covering it. If it was Wolfson, it was like either Steph or Demi. Safey, as far as I knew, anybody could have done
Feels
it.
like a catch-all.
Right, like anyone could have done it. So I told Farquaad that day, I'm like, yo, Judge Safey is covering mental health. He just tells me copy. Okay. And I go back to the office and I'm sitting there, and it's weird because I remember I was like, so did they pick someone for mental health? Because they haven't said anything to me, or I don't know who.
No,
And at
yeah.
the same,
So this is what actually happened is that you were originally supposed to do mental health,
mhm,
but there was like a random old lady that was knocking on our door
yeah,
on the office, saying that, oh my god, like I don't know, I'm supposed to go to the hospital, or I'm supposed to go at a certain place, but they didn't drop me off or something like that, and I'm
I
lost.
remember
And
that.
I'm like, yeah, and I'm like, oh shit, well, like. And he's like, yeah, like the places are around this area. And I got the address and I put on Google Maps. I'm like, oh, dude, you're like literally 3 minutes away from there. It's like, oh my God. Like, it's like, oh, I guess I have to walk back there. Cause apparently that lady walked from like some
yeah,
crazy
I
distance and she came
remember.
in sweating and shit. I'm like,
Yeah, poor
man,
thing.
yeah. And I'm like, man, do you want me to drive you there? Since it's really quick. Oh my God, can you do that for me? That'd be amazing. Oh my God, you're saying. I'm like, yeah, of course. Holy fuck, he's a freaking poor old lady. And I remember, Farquaad was there, you were there, and I said, okay, look, why doesn't Shane cover a depot that was supposed to go happen, and then find somebody else to do mental health? Like, okay, okay, like I remember specifically saying that, you know, and so then whatever, I took the lady there, and then I had to go upstairs and I had to like learn that stupid mask reporting bullshit because they had me there all fucking day
Yeah, I remember.
learning how to use that useless piece of crap. And yeah, goddamn. And yeah, and then like next thing you know, like like a couple hours pass, and then I get a message like, "Yo, who the hell's covering like mental health?" And I'm like, "Oh, this dude didn't assign anybody for mental health. Oh no." So then like I run all the way downstairs. I'm like, "Yo, dude, did you hire somebody for a met? Like, did you tell somebody to go?" He's like, "No, I thought like Shane was gonna go." I'm like, no, dude, you took him to the state depot. You're supposed to cover somebody. You're supposed to get somebody to go cover state. Like, I was upstairs the entire time. You could have called me or something if you found nobody. I would have just gone, you know. But he didn't do anything, you know. And then he was trying to make it as if it was your fault,
Yeah.
you know. And so, right, and so what I just run. I straight up run to mental health to take care of it. I had to embarrass myself. I'm like, oh, I was taking a mess shit. I'm sorry. You know, I didn't say like that. I'm like, oh, I just have to go to the bathroom. I apologize for being so goddamn late. I had to, you know, they're like, no, it's all right. You know, it was all good. And yeah, I did that, you know, for a couple hours, and then I walked back to the office. And then Farquaad was there in the fucking kitchen, you know, and he's like, bro, can you like believe Shane? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, bro, he didn't do mental health or anything like that. I'm like, well, no, you didn't assign anybody to do mental health. He's like, no, Shane was supposed to go to mental health. I'm like, no, you told him to take the state and you're supposed to find somebody to do mental health. That's literally what happened because I was taking the old lady to this thing. I was supposed to go take the state, but I'm taking the old lady there, so Shane did it. So if Shane had to go, what do you think you have to do if you already knew that he had to do mental health, which is on the list? Why would you tell Shane in the first place to go, you know, to the state? You know what I mean? Like, come on, you know. And I remember Flo was there, you know, and she was like, "It's got a point," you know. And this guy's like, "No, I don't agree with you. Like, you know, I don't agree with you at all." I'm like, "Well, that's what happened. You failed to assign somebody." And he's
Yeah.
like, no, no, no. And he kept going. He just kept going. No, 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 Peter, I don't agree with you at all. You know, Shane was supposed to go there. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. No, 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 no. Are you done? Because, like, that's it, leave. I'm like, okay, sure, I'm out.
Yeah, dude. It
And
was
I fucking left. And then I remember fairy godmother told me about this situation. I'm like, yeah, look, this is what happened, you know. And I told her everything. She's like, oh, okay, interesting. All right. You know, and then yeah, nothing ever happened out of that. Nobody learned their fucking lesson.
no, not at
Nobody
all.
took any accountability, like any accountability
Nothing.
whatsoever.
No.
Like,
No, and like I remember like when that happened, like the last thing I remember was I took the bag. It was Demi that I was training that day, and he Farquaad looked at me straight in the fucking eyes. It was like, "You're gonna take Demi and you're gonna do the state thing, right?" Right then and there, he could have said like, "No, somebody else is gonna do it. You do mental health," and I would have said, "All right, fine, that'd been okay." But he looked
yeah,
me in the eyes to confirm like I was gonna do it. I was like, "Yeah, okay." And we go to set the shit up, you know, with Demi or whatever. And like, dude, even the state attorney was asking me if I was okay because I was shaking. Okay. I was somewhere between angry and crying. Like, oh God,
fuck, it's not a good
dude,
combo.
I was a mess in the fucking office. Like, you can ask, I mean, if Crystal even remembers that, Crystal was there, the orangutan was there. I don't know if Flo was there, but oh my God, I was shaking, dude.
I feel you.
And
Whenever it got
I
to
was
that
like
point.
screaming. And I remember I said, "Where the fuck is Farquaad? I'm going to talk to him right now." And the orangutan was like, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." I said, "I don't give a shit what you think is a good idea. I'm not getting blamed for something I didn't do." And you know, I think I spoke to you after, you know, and when
Yeah,
you told me that, like, yeah, dude, you weren't at fault for it, that actually helped me calm down a lot, believe it or
yeah,
not.
no, because yeah, dude, I didn't want to make you think like you were crazy, you know, because even I confronted Farquaad about it. I'm like, yo, like, what are you doing? You know, but the things that like I think you left earlier after you took the depot. I
Yeah.
was heading back like at 4 o'clock or something like that, way later,
Hmm.
and he's just like, Shane, dude, Shane, fucking Shane, dude. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, you Farquaad, retard.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ,
You
Yeah,
ooga
dude.
booga bad.
bunga bunga, bro. Jesus.
And it's funny because that was the first time I had ever spoken to Fairy Godmother without saying like, "Hey, hello," whatever. And
Hmm.
I'm just saying there, I'm like, "Bro, like her birthday's tomorrow," and I'm like, "I don't want to do this," and I'm like, but at the same time, if I don't say anything, it'll probably happen again. So I called her. I was just like, "Listen, I don't want to bother you because I know you got like plans and shit, but let me tell you what happened." And she was like, "Okay, I'll deal with it." And the next day, we do that stupid ass meeting, whatever, and he comes up to me at one point, all slimy and shit, wanting to be my homie. He puts his hand over my shoulder. He's like, "Oh, are we cool?" And I said, "I don't know. Are we? Or are you just gonna blame me again for some shit?" And he was like, "Look, let's just let bygones be bygones." I said, "Oh, I'll let it go as soon as you admit you were wrong." He's like,
Oh,
"Look,
shit.
you're not wrong. I'm not wrong." I said,
No, no.
I said,
Gosh.
"Nah, I'm sorry. That's a no from me, dog." I said, I said, "You could try convincing yourself that you're more wrong." I said, "But deep down, you."
You know,
And then
man.
he just left like all butthurt and shit.
Yeah, no, he thought that he was gonna, destroy your spirit,
Yeah, no.
but your integrity. But
Yeah,
no.
and it's funny because it's like when you first come to Dandy Cheese, like at first you're just like a young hopeful. You're like, "Oh boy, I work at the courthouse,"
Yeah, like
and then
it's like all magical and shit.
and then 9 months later, you're just like,
fuck.
"Bro, I hope a truck hits me on my way to the courthouse."
I
probably thought
hope I
about that.
become one of the cases in this court case as a
Yeah.
victim.
Hope I'm one of the victims, man. Just Jesus.
Though I want to say, like, I do work for like another company now and stuff, but like there are times where like I'm just so afraid of like fucking up or whatever, and like every time like I do like a little mistake, like I just like freak out and like I get worried, like, am I gonna lose my job or whatever? And then 9 times out of 10, like, oh no, like just do this, like, oh, this is how you fix this, or they explain to me like, oh, like do this next time or whatever, and then like I don't know, just like always in constant fear, like, am I gonna lose my job over a little mistake?
Yeah, that's like
That's hard, man. That's
Yeah.
like playing with your livelihood, man. Like it's fucked.
yeah,
I mean, I'm still trying to like work through it and like like remind myself like not working for Dandy Cheese anymore. I'm with like a good company that realizes I have a fucking life and shit like that.
Yeah, man.
And mistakes do happen. They even say to themselves, mistakes do happen, but like I have to like just learn from it and try to like do better instead of
Yeah.
like just screaming at someone for like something small that could be easily fixed.
yeah, dude. Like,
Yeah, no, of course. And even like just trying to get any help from them was so useless because it's like, oh,
Yeah.
we're supposed to know this already.
And like they
yeah,
just make you
Why-
feel like stupid. And,
Like yeah, it's like, hey, here's your retard helmet, for not knowing it. Like
and a
it's
coloring
that
book.
like it literally felt like that. It's like, Jesus Christ, you can't just ask a question because you don't want to fuck up, you want to keep your job, so you're gonna take extra steps to make sure that whatever you're gonna do is correct, which is
yeah.
normal. That's normal fucking behavior.
And another thing that I wanted to add about Farquaad is that I don't know if you guys felt this way, but like the more that you are around him, it's almost like you get altered in a sort of negative sense. Like
Oh,
Like
dude,
he
yeah,
brings out the
sucks.
worst in people somehow.
like he did that with the gingerbread man. I could clearly see that. Like, bro, like
That was
those two, I
orangutan.
used to call them Mr. Burns and Smithers because that's all I saw with those two.
Jeez.
And yeah, like he brought out the worst in the gingerbread man. And I went to high school with the guy, and he was never like that. So imagine like years later, and I'm working with him, and I'm just like, dude, this isn't you. This
Yeah.
isn't the same dude I knew.
It's stress, man. He applies so much stress for no reason.
I know.
Yeah, like I don't know. And another thing too was like when I was, well, I remember we had a meeting with Fairy Godmother because we had just had enough, and we were just like, listen, we're gonna tell you all the shit that's been going on. And she actually said something interesting to me, which was at some point when Peter was still at Laws, Farquaad was supposed to like he was supposed to train Peter to like overtake his job because apparently what was supposed to originally happen was Peter would have taken Farquaad's job and then they would have had Farquaad do something else. God knows what else that would have been, but I was like, oh shit, that would have been cool as hell. Peter in charge of Dandy Cheese as manager. Fuck yeah, I'll sign on that. You know what I'm saying? And I thought about it and I was just like, oh shit, he was sabotaging this. Like he would like I'm almost 100% sure this guy probably knew like, fuck, my job is on the line, and if this guy takes over, they're gonna see how fucking bad I am at this, as if it wasn't already apparent.
Like he
No,
hinders growth.
Yeah, he really does.
I mean, considering the way it's going right now, I don't think it's been more obvious.
no, man,
Oh.
not at all.
No, exactly.
I
And
I almost
like,
feel like Fairy Godmother just stopped giving a shit altogether.
she did, like she really did. Oh, like the amount of stress that lady goes through. When I met her, she was blonde. Right now, she looks like her mom.
Oh
Jeez.
man, she's turned
Yeah.
white hair, huh?
Right? Yeah, like she looks like she's on like like her soul is slowly being sucked out of her.
Probably she's still hanging out with Farquaad, bro. He literally sucks the like every positive thing, every good cell in your body. He just sucks it out of you, and you just feel automatically depressed.
Yeah,
Fucking
and
wild.
Never seen her once after that.
oh, and the other thing with this guy is that it's like, well, with fairy godmothers that like I remember I would talk with her like many times. Like one time, this dude made some kind of joke about Rosa's cooking, and Rosa came to me like crying,
Oh,
and I was like, all right, I'm gonna handle this. And I told fairy godmother, I was just like, yo, this happened and I don't appreciate it. And she was telling me, she's like, he has a lot of issues and he does like the gaslighting and this and that. And I'm saying, I'm like, if you know this shit, why the fuck is he still employed here?
Yeah, like
he's like, dude, you're asking for somebody to like sue the whole company for some
For
crazy shit that he's
real.
gonna say and do.
No, but the contract says you can't sue.
Bro, that's like being a daycare and you know who Casey Anthony is and you just say, all right, you're hired, bro.
Then like, all right, let bygones be fucking bygones. You need
Oh
the
my
job.
God.
Just since you get up, just so you have enough to like rent an apartment. You know what I mean? We'll help you out. But
Yeah,
it's
like
dude, no, you
I-
fucked up so bad hiring this person.
yeah, it's crazy. But
Yeah, man.
like I just like I try to think about like the positives that came out
Mhm.
of working at Dandy Cheese. I mean, look, for the short time that it was, I got to, at one point I was working with my best friends. I met my wife.
Mhm.
I'm always
You
grateful for
fucked a coworker.
yeah, from the coworker. Her, bro, not know anybody else.
Sorry, no, it's just like today on Facebook, someone shared like, "Oh, did y'all ever fuck a coworker?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm married to him right now.
So I think Yazir and I are the only two people who can say we fucked coworkers at Dandy
Hell
Cheese.
yeah.
So,
Oh yeah,
ooh.
man. Oh yeah, man.
Oh man, but
Some amazing work ethic right there.
but no, like in all seriousness,
Yeah.
look, I was working with Peter and I was working with Julio, and then on top of that, like I made so many friends there, like Danny, I met Brian, I met Yazir, and then of course like I had all these great relationships with all these like attorneys and these judges, and that's the cool part of it. And now like I work at a better place where honestly the only thing that was kind of like stressing me out because of Dandy Cheese was like I remember I asked for a week off and I was just like, fuck man, they're gonna give me shit for it or whatever. My boss literally in 5 seconds just tells me, all right, approved, enjoy.
Yeah.
Nice, holy shit.
Yeah, so
Yeah, but I feel the same way. Like I made more friends because, like, before Dandy Cheese, like, I was in like a 5-year relationship that was like super like toxic and like isolating, and like I barely like spoke to anybody. Like I didn't even talk to my family that much because of this person. And then going to Dandy Cheese and meeting Shane, like all of you, like now like I talk to like so many people, like much more like people now, like a little bit more outgoing. Like I'm still kind of reserved, but like I talk more now.
No, I see what you mean. For me, I felt like I used to talk a lot more, and now I think maybe that's one thing that affected me is that I feel like I have to walk on eggshells a lot. just talking normally, because anything I say, I'm like, oh man, what if it comes off the wrong way, or some shit like that. Like I'm all like, it's mostly I'm jumping through mental gymnastics, not for the sake of the other person, but for the sake of me not trying to like say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Because that's what I had to deal with for like ever since Farquaad was hired. I had to talk a certain way, and if I fucked up, it's like, oh god, it's the worst thing ever. you know. So I think that's like one other thing that really affected me was just the way I confront people. I felt like I'm more anxious talking in public and talking to people in general now. It's kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know how you guys fucking became friends with me. I was like the most recluse in the.
No, man, but like,
Yeah.
I don't know. You had like the best memes. So
Yes.
right off the
No,
bat,
you really did.
The tastiest memes.
you had the
The
tastiest
saddest
memes.
person posts the funniest memes. It's just a guy hanging himself.
Oh my god.
Look,
Don't you
I
know?
mean,
But hey, dude, we all want to hang ourselves too, man. So we can join
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
hold
relate
hands on
with
the
that.
fucking gallows, man. Jesus.
I
Yeah, so
mean,
then that's
look,
it. We just vibed it off. We just had to talk about suicide.
yeah,
Yeah.
like when Off the Record was created, like that was like the last glimmering like ray of hope at
really
fucking
was.
Dandy Cheese. Like
It was a bad.
just like I stopped typing at one point. I would just like start sending memes in the
Oh my
courthouse.
gosh.
Oh, you guys
dude.
remember I was trying to send a really mean text into that group, but I actually sent it on the main chat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh shit, oh fuck.
Oh, you deleted that shit so quick.
Oh, that shit
No,
went
dude,
The
Please
rest of the
delete
day
it.
was like me having a 24/7 panic attack, thinking.
Damn.
Oh,
Oh my god. Dude, that's fucked.
It was funny.
Yeah,
at the time.
he kept looking over his shoulder like,
like, oh fuck, oh fuck.
how dare you say that shit about me? That is so true.
Oh my god.
What did he say? That like he was like a little bitch or something?
Yeah,
was
that's
something
exactly
like
what I said.
that.
I was like, it's too bad he's such a little bitch.
Yeah, that would have been a fun morning.
I sure hope I deleted that fast enough. It was
No,
like a
you
0.5
deleted it
second
quick, trust me.
deletion.
I didn't even see what you wrote.
I'm
Like,
fucking glad. I'm sure someone did, but I'm just glad no one said it either. I'm so, okay, I'm good.
Oh,
I'm good.
oh my god, I'd like to fuck with you. Should have been like, hey, what was that?
Oh my
Nothing.
god, why?
Oh, that was
I've become every court reporter that's coming to my courtroom now. I've become their like personal therapist.
No way.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I'm
Wow.
like, hey, I used to work in laws. Every time I know they're like,
Dandy
'cause you can
cheese.
see it in their face. They want to put a gun up to their head and blow their brains out. I'm just like, yeah, I used to work there too, buddy. He's like, really? I'm like, yeah. You want to share stories about how shitty that guy is? He's like,
How
oh
shit
yeah.
Farquaad is and Dandy Cheese is.
Dude, look at that. Everybody knows, man. Everybody knows about Danny Cheese. Fuck.
Yeah.
Wasn't he like banned from the courthouse at one point?
Yes. And he
Yeah,
still
Lord
manages to show
Farquaad
up
was
somehow. And I'm like,
banned.
what the fuck is he doing here?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm still trying to figure out how they allowed him back in there.
One of my first weeks, he came into my courtroom and I was setting up the computer for my judge. I was moving stuff around because we were gonna have a hearing, and he's like, "Hey, you can't do that. You need permission." And I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, "Fuck off, man." I am just like, "Sure, dude," and I just walk out.
Jeez. Oh my
It-
god.
It's like he wants to like subjugate me, even though I'm not working for him anymore.
Somehow, yeah, he wants to like bring you down because you're in a better position than he is.
Yeah, it's true. You're probably making
Shoot,
more than he
side
does
eye.
too.
Now you're the senpai.
Dude, for
I just
real.
tell him to get the fuck out every time.
You're a senpai and he's the cream pie, dude.
Oh, God.
He's the
That's all he
bottom.
is. That's all he is, dude. It's a butthole full of cream.
No wonder it
Jesus
smells so
Christ.
bad.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, sweet Jesus. This has been one hell of just a whole bunch of God, I don't even know how to describe this. This has been insane. And
Almost therapeutic in a way.
Yeah,
it was like I feel
Yeah.
good.
yeah, man. This is probably like what AA feels like, or like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
fucking
like-
had a horrible time. I don't know what I'm doing with my life, and But like, it feels good talking about it. Yeah, it does. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, no. I think that, maybe somewhere in the future
Mhm.
we might I don't know, maybe gather more people, but like in person get together and just go through our experiences. But that's another thought for another time.
Yeah, we'll make another movie.
As of right now, I want to turn your attention to Rosa and her notebook.
Yeah, roll a little something. All right, I just named it the ideal work environment. What should a work environment be like? Generally, any job you have, your employer needs to provide a safe working environment for you, or at least make you feel comfortable working. You should be able to rely on your boss, higher ups to guide you in the right direction when something goes wrong. If you make a mistake, you should be shown the right way how to do things or learn how to fix it in a calm fashion. Your job is to help you grow your career, maybe help you grow as a person. You shouldn't have to put up with your boss, supervisor, or anyone treating you like you're not even a person. Nor should they work you to the bone or question your own morals. Whether someone is your boss or your coworker, they all need to treat you with respect. Getting days off for appointments or personal reasons shouldn't be an interrogation. Just simply let them know or ask, and you should receive your days without question, given that you've given enough notice or not too many people are off that day as well. No workplace is perfect, but don't ever get to the point where you dread going to work and someone in the workplace just making things more difficult than it needs to be.
And with that being said, we are going to conclude tonight's episode. I just want to say first and foremost, Peter, Brian, thank you guys
Yeah,
so
thank you,
much
thank
for
you.
being here. You know,
Thank you guys.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
yeah. If right now we just want to know, do you guys want to like throw anything out there? Like Peter, do you have like any upcoming shows or maybe some new drops or something like that? I don't know.
Or like
The only thing I
a,
can say is like stay tuned because we have a lot of stuff that we are working on that we are going to be in that we're in the process of releasing. So it's that definitely just stay tuned because it's all gonna happen at once.
Okay.
all right, cool.
And Brian, is there anything you want to say?
I just got 99 fishing on RuneScape, dude.
No, well, you're
Wait,
lying.
what?
Wait, what?
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, dude, I thought you were serious. Like,
I
dude,
already
no
have
way,
it.
it's timing. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, I felt like you already had like a maxed account already.
I don't got anything to say.
Okay.
Well, folks, you heard it here,
Yeah.
and we're signing off. This is I'm Kimo Save.
And Skitty writings. You'll probably see that writing in like 3 months. I don't know.
And once again, thank you so much. And yeah, just do drugs and shit. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
Whatever you want to do with your life.